Welcome to the Truth to You Daily Podcast, a podcast designed for teenagers who want to learn more about God's Word and how it impacts our daily lives. Journey with us as we set out to explore God's timeless truth one day at a time. Hello and welcome. We're excited for another Saturday sit down. And today we've got a very special group with us here today. And these are some of the older classmen in our youth group. Everybody say hello.
Hi.
Yep. And so we've got about 10 upperclassmen here, and I've asked them to come and sit down with me as we kind of talk about some things. But we're going to have a little bit of fun. And so some of these questions are going to be, some of the topics are going to be a little bit more serious than others. But to get things going, to get you guys input, we're going to start off with a little game of this or that. So the first question is, what do you prefer? A dog or a cat?
Dog. Cats are evil.
That was pretty. Who would say cat? Anybody?
Neither.
Wow. One cat. One cat person. Okay. All right. Well, that was a landslide. Okay. How about this? This is a little bit harder. Netflix or YouTube?
Netflix.
Disney Plus.
Yeah, we should have added that as a category. Okay. All right. Let's see. Toast or eggs?
Toast. If it's nice and buttery, well toasted.
Like just toast?
Yeah.
Like just
toast. It's just toast.
I'm gonna go eggs on it.
Okay.
I'm gonna go toast.
Okay, how about this one? Okay, assuming that we all like to exercise here, all right? Would you go cardio or weights?
Weights.
Oh, we have a mix. Who would say weights? Raise your hand. Okay, 4 weights.
The guys
and
say weights.
The ladies are all about the cardio.
Yeah.
Okay. All right, very good. This one's tough because it could go so many different directions, but Facebook or Twitter?
Twitter,
really?
Twitter's funnier.
Facebook, what's that?
Why? Somebody help me. Why Twitter? Why Twitter?
It's for old people.
Facebook is for old people?
Really
Twitter
We better move on. Okay. All right. Mobile games or console games?
Console.
All right, mobile games, raise them. Let me see them. Okay.
I'm not good at console games. I don't get it. I'm not coordinated enough.
Well, that's all right. That's okay. That happens. Okay. All right. iOS or Android?
iOS.
Yeah, I figured that. Let's see. Cake or pie?
Cake.
Pie.
Yeah. You know, we're getting close to Thanksgiving. What's your favorite pie?
Apple.
Peach.
Pecan.
Pie crust.
Okay. All right. Good. Okay. Let's see here. Oh no, that's new clothes or new phone. But I know the answer to that one.
New
New clothes.
Really?
Yeah, new clothes.
You go new clothes over new phone?
Yeah,
Because a new phone is just something so like.
Would anybody want a new phone over a new? Yeah.
What's the point of having a nice phone if you look like
Trash?
Look like what? Okay. All right. Football or basketball?
Football.
All right.
Home run.
Let's see here. A couple more. Hamburgers or tacos?
Tacos.
Okay. All right. Okay. And last but not least, would you rather have somebody write you an email or a letter?
Letter.
It's much more personal. It is. Yeah. Okay. All right. That was kind of fun. All right. We got the fun stuff going there. All right. Let's get into some of these questions here, and I'd like to get feedback from you guys. Here's the first question. All of you are teenagers, correct?
Yes.
Yes, sir.
Okay, very good. So what would you say you enjoy most about being a teenager? What would you say you enjoy most about being a teenager? You could rephrase it another way, maybe. What do you enjoy most about this stage of life? That's another way to put it. All right, who wants to go first? Anybody? I can't answer this question. I'm not a teenager.
I have an answer.
Okay. Oh, you do?
Yeah.
All right, go ahead, Leah.
I enjoy not having to pay bills.
Ooh. Yeah, that's a good one. All right, who else? Who else? Yes.
I guess you kind of get an introduction to how it feels to like be an adult, but not have all the responsibility of being an adult. So it's like,
Yeah. That's good. That's good. Somebody else. What do we got? Yes, ma'am.
It's like you get the best of both worlds. You'll get to experience being the last of a kid and also like the beginning of adulthood.
Yeah, that's true. Some never grow up though. I don't know if that's why I became a youth pastor or what. Anyway, all right. Anybody else? Input on the? Let's see. Yes, sir. Go ahead.
Same with what Veritica said. You have the best of both worlds. You have the time you need and the energy, but then you have barely any money of being an adult, though.
Okay.
So.
All right. Yep. Fun stuff. All right. Okay. Yes, ma'am.
Also, kind of just like education in school. Like, it's kind of weird to think about, but it's also nice to just like be in school and learn about just different things.
Yeah. The education process. Yeah. That's good. All right, let's go. Let's go to our next question here, and this is kind of the flip side of that. But let's talk about just for a second. What's one of the biggest challenges do you feel like is facing Christian teenagers today? What's one of the biggest challenges that you think? Yes, ma'am.
I feel like a really big challenge that not even just Christian teenagers, but teenagers in general, is like we don't feel accepted. Especially being Christian teenagers in a way, you kind of could feel out of place in situations. But that's just one of the challenges I see.
Yeah, that's a good point. That's good. Who else? Yes, go ahead.
I think another one is just comparison and value and those things, especially that like come with being on social media and stuff. I think that's a challenge for especially younger teenagers too.
Yeah.
If they haven't been taught where their value and their worth comes from, I think that can be something that kids or teenagers can struggle with.
Yeah, and that is such a huge thing. I mean, really no other generation has had to face some of these issues that you're talking about. So they can be game changers, really. Yes, what else?
I think just the different things that the world like is trying to like push down like younger kids' throats. Like there's a lot of different things in the world that like we're really exposed to, and that's not like always a good thing. So.
Yeah, right. Yep. Yeah, absolutely. Yes, sir.
What the world views as important, people just show everything as important. Just they choose something instead of like specifically showing you what is important, or if they do, it's like not what should be important in life, like money or fame. They say though you need to have this to become successful in life, but that's not really true.
Yeah. That's a good point. It's good. Okay. Yes, ma'am.
I would also say, so there's like, kind of you're in the middle. You don't want to be too, like, teenager-ish, I guess, but you also don't want to be, like, I don't want to say, like, too Christian, but, like, too, like, not like kids your age. So you want to be hip, but at the same time, you want to be, like...
You want to be hip.
Spiritual, and I think it's really... You feel like you're not good enough in both aspects, and then I think that's, you feel really out of place, and you feel like not accepted in both realms. Yeah, I guess.
No,
so
that's a really good point. That's really transparent. That divide where on one hand you want to please God, and on the other hand you don't want to be awkward or strange in the eyes of other people. And navigating that effectively can be difficult sometimes. So that's good. Appreciate that. Anybody else on this particular point here? And this is great. You guys give me some great feedback. All right, let's go to the next question here. We're blazing a good trail, and let's look at the next one here. All right. What would you say today? What causes people your age to worry? What causes them to worry? Yes. Go ahead.
I feel like since we are so young, we have the whole future ahead of us, so we're really scared of what lies in front of us and like what's going to happen to our future, like college, and like we're worried about our grades and getting into the good college. We're worried about money and all the stuff that life has for us ahead. Since we are so young, we have so much life ahead of us.
Yeah,
I think that's a main thing that we worry about.
Yeah.
I would say a lot of anxiety. Whether it comes to, anxiety over schoolwork or just, like, in general of like I don't know what's gonna come. I don't know what to do next. Or like especially in schoolwork, it's really frustrating when you're expected to do certain things and you feel like you don't have enough time to manage it and enough time to sleep. And when you don't have a lot of time to sleep, you get very like tight strung, I guess.
Yeah.
So I think that's one of my concerns.
Good. Yes. Go ahead.
Also, like the ability, like at our age, there's like not much of an ability to control certain things in our life that's happening or going on. So that's another thing that would like tie into like, oh, I can't control this, so there's no like.
Yeah. Right. That's a good point. Yes.
I think also like setting the bar high for yourself, so you feel like, oh, if I don't accomplish this by then or this by then, I'm going to be a failure in people's eyes. Or my parents don't think I didn't do good enough. Like, I think it's just like another thing that comes with like wanting to please people.
Yeah.
Or just trying to be someone in like some people's eyes, I guess.
Yeah. It's good. Yes, sir. Go ahead.
Relationships, whether it be with friends or just marriage-wise, people get pressured into doing something that they don't want to do because someone said, if you love me, then you'll do this, or if we're friends, you'll do this. And it's just that you should be confident in yourself. If you know something's right, you should do it. And if you know when it's not right, you shouldn't do it. It doesn't matter who's saying it or who says they care about you. If they cared about you, they know what is right and it was good for you, and they'll stand by you no matter what.
Yeah. It's good. These are great. These are different aspects, things that even adults can worry about. But those are good. Anybody else to add to that? As I think about worry in particular, my mind always goes to that verse that talks about casting all your care upon Him, for He careth for you. And I love that last part of the phrase that talks about that the Lord is doing the caring. Right? We're the ones that we don't have to, because we give those to Him and He takes care of it. But that's hard work, isn't it? That's hard work to give things over to the Lord. But that's one of the joys of being a Christian. But that's good. That's good. All right. Let's go on to the next question here. And this is what I have. What has been one of the biggest answers to prayer you've ever seen or experienced in your life? Yes, go ahead.
So my mom recently became a real estate agent, and just every time she sells a house, she asks me to pray for it. And every time I pray for it, either in school or in my devotional time, God always answers it, and He lets her sell it completely. Even sometimes He said no, but then it turns out that there was a problem with the house, so that it would have sold for less even if she did sell it. So she moves on, and then she sells another house that's even better than the one she didn't sell. So it's just that it's God's hand working on her life and the job that she has now. And it's just an answer to prayer. It lets me know that God is answering prayer, because every time I pray for it, she does sell her house and it sells well. So it's
fantastic. That's great. Yes.
So this isn't like the biggest answer to prayer, because I really don't know what the biggest answer to prayer in my life has been. But there's been two main times where it's like I've had like a really specific prayer that I prayed to God, and it was like specifically asking him to do something, and it's like He answered it exactly how I asked Him to.
Wow.
And it was just really amazing, like, to see that happen.
That's neat. We serve a very detailed God. That's good. Yes, sir.
Kind of going like along with what Meme said, like sometimes it's not like what are the biggest answers to prayer. It's sometimes like honestly those small requests that keep you going. Like the small requests are answers, like small things like, oh, let me do well on this test today, or what if I have a certain situation that I want to go my way and it does. And like Meme says, like even the specific things, like He just kind of like cares about all of that, and He answers it the specific way you ask for it.
Yeah. And
like that, I feel like even if it's not the biggest answer to prayer, like those small requests add up, and like it like strengthens your faith.
Absolutely.
Like
yeah. Well put. Yes.
So along with what Mimi and Sam were saying, like I did have a specific request, and like I didn't pray like very specific about it, but getting a job over the summer was a really big deal for me, and I never, which is really funny, like I prayed for it the whole summer, and I never got a job during the summer, but I got it right at the end of summer, and it was way more than I could have ever like imagined that like I could have, like the pay was really good, the hours were great, and it's
Awesome.
way more than I could have even prayed for, because I just prayed that I would get a job, so I was so I wasn't even really specific,
Yeah.
but it just turned out way better than I could have even asked for.
Awesome. Yep. Good.
I think so. I'm pretty sure like we all get like this, but sometimes when something doesn't happen our way, or like something happens that is not like very fortunate for us, is we pray about it and then it doesn't really like get answered. You know, actually like the situation like might become worse or just might stay where it's at, and then you kind of start to like give up hope and like, oh, okay, like I see how it is, and then like God just surprises you with something, or like blesses you with something even bigger than that than you could have like ever imagined, and it like works out so much better than you even like wanted it to be.
Yeah.
So
And I love that you brought that out. And there's some teenagers, I'm sure, that are listening right now to this podcast, and maybe there's something that you've just been talking to the Lord about, and it hasn't happened. Take encouragement from some of these words, because the Lord does have our best interests in mind, and many times He just wants us to be patient and just simply wait for that thing that He wants to do for us around the corner. So that's good. I appreciate you sharing that. All right, anything else before we move on? Yeah, go ahead.
I sort of have a couple of answers, but they all sort of coincide in the same instance. So since probably like 7th, 8th grade, my dad had these health issues where they found like tumors in his body. But thankfully, when we prayed for that back then, me and my class and my family, they found out those were benign.
Great.
So I thank the Lord every day for that. And they had a surgery on them later to remove them, but the surgery sort of went wrong, and he's been suffering with really bad pain for so long. And I've been constantly praying about it, and it's been a really big blessing to me to be able to see him right now. He's probably at the best he's ever felt.
Wow.
Since 7th grade.
Wow.
With that pain, and it just keeps getting better. And obviously, sometimes it goes up and down here and there, but overall, it's just it's been such a blessing to see in a situation where the doctors don't even know what to do or where to go. That just God and my faith in that, and that He would handle that situation. That it pulled him through mostly.
Yeah. Fantastic. That's good. Well, and I think that Lord, the longer we sit here, the more we just think about how God takes care of us. And let's go ahead and move on to a couple last questions here. But what would you say right now, or recently, in the recent time here, what would you say God has been teaching you lately? What's something that you'd say, it just seems like He's been trying to, put this home with me? Go ahead.
So I've been reading on this app, and it's called First 5, and it's this segment called Prone to Wander, and it's just really been teaching me that no matter how far away you've gotten from God, you can always go back to Him, and no matter how far you get from Him, He still loves you, and He wants you to come back to Him.
Yeah.
And it's just really nice to know, because sometimes in like our Christian life, we tend to fall away from God, or we get really distracted by other things of the world that we don't really spend time with God. But God is still like caring and looking and searching for us to come back to Him.
Yeah.
And I think it's just a really nice thought.
That's good. Who else? Yes, sir.
Recently, God's just been teaching me patience and how to slow down, because at this point in time, I want to move fast. I want to get stuff done immediately. I want everything to be done right away. Even just sitting somewhere is hard for me, because I want to do something. I need to have something in my hands. But God has just been teaching me to slow down, to have patience, and to just in a few instances just to lean on Him and just wait for something to happen. Because the worst answer I'd hate for prayer or from my parents is just wait and I'll tell you. And then I'd rather want to have a yes or no answer right then and there. But they always tell me to wait, and just waiting is just the worst part for me, because I always wanted to be fast. I wanted to be quick. But recently, into my devotions and in my quiet time, I've been able to lean back, take a breath, and just let God handle whatever He wants to handle. Have it do it in His timing. It might not be mine, but it's still His, and He wants the time. He does it, and His time is going to be right for it.
That's good. Yep. Go ahead.
I think recently something that I feel like God is kind of speaking to me about is using situations that we think are bad for good. you know, eventually. Even if, you know, like right now we don't see it, it's kind of comforting to see, you know, even in the Bible, God has used, you know, Rahab the harlot, used her for good. You know, there's just so many instances where God has used evil or bad for good. So I think that's really comforting, especially like all the ups and downs that comes with life. It's really comforting to just see that, you know, maybe right now it might seem like the worst thing in the world, but like eventually, maybe in a couple months, maybe a few years, it'll work out in like the best way possible. So
it's good. It's good perspective. Yes.
I think that I always remember when I was younger, I used to pray to God, I want to be all yours, I want to be all in for you. And I didn't really understand what I was praying. And I think this past year and this past couple of months, like God he's just been showing me what that means when I pray, I want to be all yours. I want like just all my life to be like surrounded by you and focused on you. I think it just really showed me how God really wants our undivided attention.
That's
like
good.
He wants to be number one in our life, and He wants us to be talking to Him constantly, and just like He wants to be our best friend, I think.
Yeah.
And that really just became known to me this past year. And and I just want to encourage anyone who's listening, if they're on the borderline of saying, oh, I don't know if I want to live my life completely for God, like that's not cool. And I'm just saying, I think that's the best place to be, because I think that's where God will take care of you, and He'll give you joy, and He'll give you peace, and you can just live in that security for the rest of your life.
Oh, those are great words. That's excellent. That's excellent. Okay, we got to move on to this last question. We're starting to run out of time here. We're gonna have to do this again because. But hey, let's go to this last one. It's kind of a unique question, but you guys are getting close to the end of the high school race here, and you're some of you are on the final lap in terms of graduating soon and all of that. But if you travel back in time and tell yourself something as a 7th grader entering high school, what would you say? It could be practical, it could be spiritual, it could be anything. Okay, but what would you say?
Study. If you don't study now, you won't get the drive to study later. I know people in my class who have been studying, asking questions ever since we were in 6th, 7th grade, and they're getting way higher grades than I am. So if you study now, I wish I could tell myself to study or to learn a good work ethic or a better work ethic than I have now, because I know it would have benefited me in the future.
Okay. All right. Anybody else? Real quick. Go ahead.
Don't bother decorating your locker. It doesn't do anything for you. It's going to become messy. And, study. Your teachers aren't going to remind you of your makeup work, so get it by yourself or else you're going to fail.
All right. There you go. All right. Last one. Go ahead.
Make many memories that you'll remember forever, and always learn from the ups and downs in your life.
There you go. Hey, well put. All right, guys. Everybody say see ya.
Bye.
Hey, thanks so much for listening to our Saturday sit down. We hope that you'll join us yet again for our daily devotionals as we work through the week. Have a great day.